Wow, guys, look what I found. Yes, it's an amazing video by Bobby Abroad. It's about living in Sweden, what he loved after 4 months, and it looked like from the video that he's far north somewhere. Yes, it looked like a nice video actually. It's a fairly new YouTube channel, and I've seen that recently it's been popping up, so I wanted to I don't know, not promote him, but give him some love through my reaction, and hopefully you guys can go check his channel. Yes, right here, Bobby Abroad, because I think from what I read in the comment, people really love his videos. So yeah, let's go. Let's go.
About 4 months ago. And honestly, there are a few things about living here that completely surprised me in a really good way. Some of these I didn't expect at all. And a few of them have actually changed how I think about daily life. So in this video,
I'm guessing that a lot of people living north of Sweden, you have a dog. A lot of you have a dog. Even though the dog that we saw that he had there, it looked quite small to live up north. Is it one of those Shih Tzu with like a lot of fluffy hair or something, those kind of breed?
I want to share the things that I genuinely love about living here in Sweden so far.
Go subscribe to him.
The first thing I absolutely love about Sweden is how close you are to nature. Literally
Storforsen. Does that mean something? It's probably.
all the time. It doesn't matter if you're in a city, a small town, or somewhere in between. You're never far from forests, lakes, or open space. And one thing that really stood out to me is something called freedom to roam.
Oh, Allemansraten. Allemansraten. Whoa. The general public right to access certain public or privately owned land, lake and rivers for recreation and exercise. The right is sometimes called the right of public access to the wilderness or the right to roam. You know why it's really interesting? Because I think this is an American thing to don't have access to that. I'm from Canada and I don't remember the park or the lake being private. I don't remember that. Maybe I'm too young to remember and my parents never went to the place that were private, but I don't remember having restriction in my city or anything like this. And here in Thailand, a lot of farmers don't even have a fence, so I can walk my dog there on private property. It's really collectivist here, so it's even more open. But I'm curious why you mentioned that. It feels like it's a very American thing to be against that kind of Allemansraten thing.
Means you can walk through nature almost anywhere. Coming from the US, that's just not something I
See, from the US. Canada is more like Europe, I would say, I think.
was used to. Here, it feels like nature is part of your everyday life, not something that you have to plan.
Oh, wait, what is this? Code of conduct. The beard. Oh, okay, well, yeah, it's like code of conduct. Okay, well, that makes sense, though. It's like common sense.
Trip around. And with 3 dogs, this has been a game changer.
We have 12 dogs. Look at this. I don't know how much you can see. We have a lot of dogs. All rescue in Thailand. If you want to support us, we have a Buy Me a Coffee. The link is in the description. CJ and I, we rescue a lot of dogs. We feed stray dog every day. Things that you guys don't know about. That's why sometimes she's quite tired because she helped her dog earlier. We rescue a lot of dogs and we do that with our ad revenue. So any help is greatly appreciated. Yes.
Another thing I've really come to appreciate is the pace of life here. Things just feel calmer, less rushed. There's not this constant pressure to always be busy or productive every second.
One of the shortest average working hour in the world with an average work week of 36.6. I thought you guys were working 4 days a week, so I thought so that it was going to be like 32 hours. Because in Canada, it's known that it's like 8 hours per day, 5 days per week. So it's around 40 plus. Over time, you're paid 1.5 times your salary per overtime hour. Anything above 40 hours. And here in Thailand, people work 6 days per week and 9 hours per day. So they work 45 hours plus, no, actually 50 hours plus. It's crazy.
Of every day, people actually take time to relax. spend time with family, and enjoy their day.
Wow.
And I didn't realize how much I needed that until I experienced.
Oh wow. A perfect life in Sweden. IKEA. Known for its family-friendly policy, flexible work schedule. Ericsson. Well-being and offer benefit like flexible working hours. Spotify. Work-life balance. H&M. Wait, they're all Swedish company? I just noticed. H&M. I didn't know though it was Swedish. Flexible working hours, vacation policy, and Scania, leading manufacturer of heavy truck and buses. Strong commitment to work-life balance. Yeah, well, you know, my coloc, right? My roommates, he's in the Netherlands right now, but he's there a few months per year, maybe 3, 4, 5 months per year. And he always tell me that those kind of things are also very frequent in the Netherlands, the land of the bicycle. And sometimes I call him at 1 p.m. and he can pick up the phone even though he's not on a break. And his boss, people above him, are more like coworker friend than they are his superior. So there's no power dynamic on the workforce in the Netherlands. And it might be the same thing in Sweden, actually.
It. It's one of those things that kind of sneaks up on you. And then you realize this feels a lot healthier. Okay, so this one might sound surprising, but the cold here is actually not as bad as I expected it. Don't get me wrong, it was very cold. And I know that sounds crazy, but
I mean, minus 25, and the reason why it's not that cold, you guys told me, right? It depends where it's connected in reference to the Arctic Circle and things like this versus in Canada. Even though Sweden is going to be higher than where most people live in Canada, it's going to be much colder in Canada. Minus 25, in Canada it get to minus 30, minus 35, minus 40 very, very easily. Even though it's not as high, it's because of some kind of heat that you have in Sweden coming from that big crate on top. And I don't remember the name. You guys keep telling me and I keep forgetting, so.
Hear me out. Everything here is built for the cold. The homes are warm, insulated, comfortable. Public spaces are heated, and people just know how to deal with it. It's not like you're constantly suffering in freezing temperatures. And honestly, it's more of a mindset shift. Once you dress properly and embrace it a little bit, it becomes a lot more enjoyable than I thought it would be. And I had some help from people in the comments that live here suggesting the type of clothing, and it's been a game changer for myself.
It's a little bit different in Canada because the quality of living is not as high as in Sweden. So for example, in Montreal, where I'm from, there's homeless people. And most of them during winter, they either need to change city to go somewhere where it's more manageable, or they will have 1, 2, or 3 dogs. And the dogs will keep them warm during winter. We see that a lot in Canada. That's why a lot of homeless people, they have their dog. And their dog are super friendly. And it's something that is not legal but kind of tolerated, because if not, people die basically, because the cold is brutal.
But I will say there were definitely a couple of things that took some getting used to, and a few things I got wrong. If you're interested, check out this video here to see what I got completely wrong after moving here to northern Sweden. One thing you've probably heard about Sweden is Fika. And I can confirm, it's very real. But it's not just about coffee. It's really about slowing down, taking a break, and connecting with people. Whether it's with friends, coworkers, or even just taking a quiet moment for yourself. It's actually built into the culture. And I love.
Well, he was talking about earlier about like H&M and Scania and the other Swedish company that have like flexible thing, but I think one of the reasons is that Fika is almost like mandatory, right? It's almost feel like a law that you have like 1 or 2 break that are not for lunch, where people need to relax. Because one thing that you guys understand that a lot of countries do not is that if you work 4 hours, 5 hours without breaks, you're not as effective. And every time that you take a break and you're able to like reset, it will make you more productive. And at the end of the day, working 36 hours, like you said at the beginning, you will do more in these 36 hours than other country will do in 50. So why not working efficiently and finding a way to make people not burn out and work efficiently? It's logical, right? But for some reason, most countries don't understand that. And yeah.
It's such a simple thing, but it makes a big difference in how your day feels. Another thing that really stood out to me is just how clean and organized everything is. The streets are clean, public transportation runs smoothly, and there's just this overall sense of order. But what I notice even more than that is how quiet it is. People are respectful of shared spaces, you don't get a lot of unnecessary noise or chaos, and it creates this really calm environment that honestly just makes everyday life feel easier.
You know, I have another channel called Max and Suji Europe when I react to a lot of European country. And it's not only something in Sweden, it's in Norway, in Denmark, in Finland, in Poland, in Germany, in the Netherlands, in Belgium, in Switzerland, in most European country, it's kind of the same kind of a vibe, cleanliness. So despite you guys in Europe having some existential crisis right now about immigration, about blah, 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 your quality of life, in Europe, life is better than anyone else on the planet Earth, I think, in terms of what you get for your taxes that you pay and everything, versus like, yes, life in Canada is great, but we don't have free education. Life in Thailand is really nice, like, for what you get, right? But there's a lot of things that like when you retire, for example, in Thailand, when you get 60, 65, you don't get much money from the government. You don't really have a safety, so you depend on your children to make sure that you can survive until you die. So it's not really good. You work all your life and then you're not taken care of. So Europe do most things right, even though you guys complain a lot. If you travel, you'll see that life is much harder in pretty much anywhere else. Including Japan, by the way, which people fantasize about Japan, but burnout, because people work so hard in Japan, in Korea, in East Asia, that it's hard. You should not compare yourself to that. You have life on easy mode in Sweden, for example.
This one is huge for me. Sweden is incredibly dog friendly. Having 3 dogs, I've really noticed how easy it is to include them in daily life.
That's a pootie, no?
There's space for them, access to nature, and people generally have a really positive attitude towards dogs. It doesn't feel like you're constantly...
Look, do you see? Did I show you earlier how many dogs behind me? There's like 6 in the bed behind me and there's 4 on the other bed.
working around restrictions. Instead, it feels like they're just a part of life here. And that's something I really appreciate. And so do my pooches.
I don't remember which country that I reacted to before. Some country you can bring your dog in the train, you can bring your dog in the bus, you can bring your dog in the supermarket, you can bring your dog in a lot of places. I don't remember if it was Germany or Netherlands, or there's one country specifically in Europe where you can bring your dog pretty much anywhere.
And I think the best way to sum everything up is just this overall sense of calm. Day-to-day life feels less stressful, less chaotic. There's just this feeling that things are stable. And again, this is just my personal experience, but it's something I've really come to value since being here.
It's all interconnected, right? When you have safety net, when your boss is not yelling at you, when you have breaks, you're less stressed. And when you're less stressed, you can calm down. That's pretty much it, right?
The next one is actually a big one for me.
Oh.
And honestly, it's one of the main reasons why I wanted to move to Sweden in the first place. And that's the quality of the food. Before moving here, I'd heard people talk about how food standards are different in Europe compared to the US. But I didn't fully understand what that meant until I experienced it myself. And now that I've been here for a few months, I can genuinely say it's noticeable.
Yeah, I can see.
Even just going to a regular grocery store here feels different. The ingredients tend to be simpler, more straightforward, And there's just less of that overly processed feel that I was used to back
Oh,
in
the
the
tube.
States. You look at labels here, and a lot of the time you actually recognize everything that's in the product, which sounds like a small thing, but it really stood out to me. And part of that comes down to regulations. There are certain ingredients with additives that are allowed in foods in the US that are either restricted or not allowed here at all.
Yeah, see, the drugs generally allow a wide variety of additive. Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Including tartrazine, BHA, and potassium bromate. Yeah.
I'm not going to get super technical about it, but things like certain artificial additives, dyes, and
Potassium
preservatives
bromate.
are handled a lot more strictly. And whether you think about it a lot or not, that does make a difference in what you're putting into your body every day. One thing I've personally noticed is just how I feel day to day. I'm not saying everything is magically perfect, but overall, meals feel lighter, less heavy, less processed.
Not gonna lie though, if you force me to take a vegan steak, I'm gonna have problem with you guys. I have never had it. I just feel like everyone who mentioned that they had it, nobody liked vegan steak. I don't even know what that is. And honestly, I had burger though, vegan burger. If you're a vegan, maybe after a while you cannot tell the difference, but I can tell you that if you're a meat eater, you will notice when your burger is vegan. I'm sorry, but you will notice a difference. And the vegan cheese, disgusting. There's a lot of vegan things that I like, but it's not because they are vegan that I like it. It's because I like it no matter, I have always liked this no matter what, you know? So,
It's one of those things where you don't fully realize the difference until you step outside of.
what I'm trying to say is that you don't need to eat vegan to eat healthy. I think it's a weird misconception that vegan mean healthy. But there's a lot of vegan stuff, vegan things that don't have any meat or milk in it that are not healthy. So,
what you're used to. Even something as simple as bread, it just tastes different.
of course, well, compared to the US and Canada, that's the thing. In Canada, we have the same slice of bread culture as in America. So, yeah.
Not necessarily in a flashy way, but in a more
Bolognese.
natural, simple way. It feels like the focus is more on quality ingredients rather than adding a.
Oh, I grew up eating a lot of Fruit Loops, and honestly, as an adult, the few times that I've tried Fruit Loops, I had a gigantic headache. Like I feel like my head wanted to explode. It's so unhealthy.
Bunch of extras.
The first ingredient is wheat flour. When you check a box like this, the ingredients are always written in order from the most to least. So wheat flour is basically the most ingredient of the Fruit Loops or whatever is showing right now.
This even
Yeah, all of
applies
the
to my
things that is shown
dogs.
there. Oh my god.
Being able to feel more confident about the quality of food and ingredients available here, it matters.
Bro, let's be honest about something, right? Well, yeah, see the problem with this? I have 12 dogs, I can explain to you. Beef meal mean that it's not real beef. Beef meal mean that it's like meat that is like processed with powder or thing like this. It's not real. And then you have grain sorghum, chicken fat, and pork meal, chicken meal, so fish meal. So you have you don't have a real meal, real meat at all in all of it. And there's so many ingredients that if you want a good quality kibble, for example, you're gonna have like 30% or 20% of what it show here. But again, if you want expensive kibble, no matter what country you are, it's 3, 4, 5 times more expensive than what is showing here.
Feeding
So-
yourself and your pets every single day, that stuff adds up over time.
Yeah, of course, Scottish salmon. I'm sure that the ingredient is gonna be salmon and not salmon meal, for example. So
At the end of the day, this isn't about saying one place is perfect.
See, freshly cooked Scottish salmon, sweet potato, dry herring, pea, potato, dry. There's no meal. It's all fresh ingredient, of course. But when you look at the price, it's gonna be extremely expensive, and it's also high in protein, so low in carbs. But it's gonna be extremely expensive. That thing, it's gonna be crazy. But you look at that, it's all real ingredient. and good minerals also.
and the other isn't. But for me personally,
Hey.
having access to food that feels a little cleaner, a little
I mean, to be fair,
less
why they show that kind of cable, you have it in Thailand, you have it in America, right? You can buy LT food or LT cable in any country. It's just that you have way more LT option, I guess, in Sweden and a lot less junk. So the ratio of junk available versus good available is much higher in Sweden, much more LT in America and even in a lot of country. Of course, the ratio of bad quality is much higher. But it's also what people are going to end up buying a lot of the time, you know, because the morbidity rate in North America is quite high. So
process and more regulated. It just gives me peace of mind. And that was a big factor in why I wanted to make this move in the first place. If you're already living in Sweden, thinking about moving here, or just curious about what life is really like here in northern Sweden, I'm sharing everything as I go. So make sure to subscribe and consider leaving a comment. It's free to do that.
oh, okay. What are people saying in the comments? Let me put my glasses. What are people saying? Your video really good. Turn down the volume. Yeah, it was a little bit loud. A healthy, rest, worry-free worker is a productive worker. That's exactly what I said earlier in the video. Welcome to Sweden. I saw you have been to Storforsen. Yes, wait until it's the summer. Nice video. Peace of mind. Yes, you couldn't have described it better. And it's come down to me, the peace of mind too. Again, the quality of living. The fact that you have breaks at work. The fact that you're not stressed about money, about everything. This is only possible, that calmness, because of what you're getting by the government, by your employee. If you didn't have that, all of that calmness would be gone. So that calmness and slower pace, it's a byproduct of the culture and the society that collectively you have decided to live in. So it's not nothing in your DNA that make you calmer like this. It's basically because you grew up in that environment. And anyone who's born in Sweden, even if they are not Swedish, most of them would feel the way that you feel. So it's more so a consequences of things that you guys are doing right. So yeah, amazing video. Thank you for the amazing suggestion. If there's more, let me know in the comment below. Yes.